Dumfries, this time with Accies rather than Alex. So we're the other side of the bridges that we were by the last time. We've come over to the Rosefield Mills to start. Let's see if we can get you a wider angle on this. So the Rosefield Mills was the last woolen mill, I think, that was operational in Scotland. As far as I was led to believe from the woman in the old bridge house at Dervergiller Bridge last time we were here. I was wondering if it was going to be easy enough to get in. Yes, it's definitely going to be easy enough to get in, because I want to wander around. We look at this building, see if maybe even there's any access into the building itself, because that'd be pretty good. The gate's like padlocked and that, but you know me. Oh my goodness. This is going to take a minute. Trousers are stuck and stuff. Here we go. Oh, I'm not super bothered about ripping clothing, but oh my goodness, that was narrow. Okay. Buddleia, there's buddleia everywhere. Oh. Nettles everywhere too. Fortunately my legs are well covered. Can we get up to have a wee look inside this door? I'm just going to crush these nettles. Doesn't look so old for here. So maybe some of it is still in use every so often. The lock on the gate isn't super old either. Here we've got some nice thistles with a bumblebee on. Because you have to take time out to enjoy nature every so often as well. And Scotland has good nature. So more buddleia. Love the buddleia. I would love to be able to harvest it. Loads of nettles. I would make a perfume out of buddleia plants given the opportunity. There's a lot of wasps. Lots of bees. I'm not looking to annoy any of them. So this building actually stretches back up to the road, and it seems like parts of it are still in use, because there were vans and things outside, as if it'd been kind of kept useful. I'm not sure where I'm going. There's a kind of what looks like a path. I think I'm about to come to a dead end in amongst all this foliage. We'll see. So this window's been prized out. So I'm pretty sure that if I were more able-bodied and younger, there's also noises coming from the inside. Yeah, I'd probably be able to climb up here and get in there, no bother. I'm by myself, and it does sound like there's people inside. Like I say, I think some parts of it are still in action. None of this bit, I don't think. If there's folks inside, it's people that are doing the same like as me, and just coming in for a wee look-see. I am not going to be able to get much further in this. This is just all really dense foliage. I thought we'd come and we'd have a wee look at just some of the architecture on it, because it looks like a fantastic building from that bookmark that we were given. by the lassie at the old bridge house. I would want to get further, but I mean, again, it doesn't look like there's any access to the building that way. The easiest way into the building is going to be back where this window has been kind of taken aside. It's too high up for me to be able to actually show you inside. It's like twice the height of me. You can see that I don't know if you can see, the flooring is all broken through. And it could just be noise from like recent rain and stuff that's affected the building, because there's no roof at all up here. So there may not be anything inside. It may just be slowly falling apart. We've got berries in here, loads of berries. I saw them along the roadside. Loads of berries, loads of butterflies. There's a wee white one at my feet. I'm not looking to annoy the nature either. Can't really get far enough back to let you see. Let's see if I can get around here. Where bees are on the thistles, still getting round them. This is the Rosefield Mills. We'll try that door in a minute just to see if because if it just opens, then we're going in. I'm not about to break and enter though. Like these berries, it'll be ripe in about a month or so. Lots of really good big thistles amongst the buddleia and these white flowers. It's the kind of flowers you get on ivy, maybe. Don't know. There's a red flower here. Don't know what that is. I'm just loving that there's so many thistles. Like a spot of purple. Let's check this door. Just since there's no harm in trying. My God, look, I've got all vegetation all stuck to me and prickling me through my trousers. Let's have a look. Yeah, no, that doesn't open. Okay, well, it was worth a try. Worth a try. That's what buddleia is good for, is attracting the butterflies. Okay. Oh, I need to extricate myself back through this gate. It wasn't fun getting in. This will be a thing. This looks bad. This looks just like oil and pollution, doesn't it? Or tar or something. It's made all the plants next to it black, and I wouldn't be eating the berries. Right, okay. Well, for this side of the Rosefield Museums, the Rosefield Museums, the Rosefield Mills, that's it, but I'll see if we can get around the other side. I'm going to turn this off to make getting back through this gate a wee bit easier. Another old building here. J.B. Stevenson and Jeffrey Limited, but I think it's in action by the looks of it. We have white buddleia. That is not something that I have seen. I'm intrigued by that. It's got a big bee on it. It's working its way around the other side. White buddleia. I like that too. Come up around the other side, the Rosefield Mills. It's got a good day for it. Sticky willows. See these things? I don't know if viewers are going to know these. So sticky willows are like they're like little fuzzy balls that grow off these plants, and as wains you would get a handful and you would chuck them at your pals because they would just stick all over their clothing just for the sake of it, just for shits and giggles, you know, like not for any good reason, just because, well, they work to do that. Don't know where Accies is. He's going for a wander. The Rosefield Mill does extend right up to this building here, because this also has Rosefield Mills written across the front yet. So we'll go up and have a look at it, even though I think that really is still in operation for whatever building companies or. So this building still states it's Rosefield Mills, and it's built in the same way, you know. Now it has J.B. Stevenson and Jeffrey Limited Body Repair Centre. So, for your car needs. This is Mellyville Terrace that we're on. I've not seen Accies. Wonder where he is. Way across the street, these people will be like, what's she doing? So you see it says Rosefield Mills across it. But even there the roof's all gone, so even though that building's in use, you can see all that roof's gone. Right in here, you know, yeah, all boarded up. It would have been an excellent building if they'd kept it in operation. Nice wee balcony out front. Well, that's a way in. Danger, keep it. Aye, alright. Nice wee carvings on the front. I do wonder where Accies is going to. There's people behind me and driving by and stuff, but I'm not bothered. I'm not bothered. God, this slate. My goodness. So this is inside the Rosefield Mills. Don't even know what I'm standing on. Burned stuff. Super overgrown. Mere thistles, mere bumblebees. Glad we're on concrete ground here rather than something I feel like is going to collapse on us. Interesting graffiti. There you can see floor below. And the other side of this is where we'd have made it to when we were walking around the outside in the front. This would have been steps leading down at one point. Can you get down it now? Well, you could. Getting back up might be an issue. So, this is what's left of the Rosefield Mills, I guess. You've got some kind of basin. So, we'll go and find Accies and we'll start seeing about getting my Dumfries Historical Site passports stamped. Oh, this slate. That could be used for something, eh? Oh, this slate. You could even take it and paint pictures on it and that. Like, just use it as an interesting art form. No smoking, switch off when filling. Fair enough. Right. We're going to escape. We're going to get out of this building. Oh, broken glass and that. Don't know what this is. Something electric. Maybe some kind of monitor or gauge or something. Right, let's find Accies in. That metalwork looks old and Victorian. I don't know what that would have been to do. Okay, maybe not Victorian, maybe the start of the 20th century actually. I wonder what that sign would have said. Love that balcony. We need to trust it to stone on now. Orientation, we're going to go down to the river. Don't know if we can get down to the river from here. I assume so. Ah, there you go. Handy wee steps, good. And we'll have a wee look at the Nith for this part yet, because we never made it this far east of Dumfries. We kind of stayed quite central last time we were here. More white buddleia. I'm loving this. Butterflies also love it. Big fan of buddleia. Not seeing any fish. We were seeing fish higher up above the weir, over to where we're left here. We've just got some excellent bridges here. What are these birds that are on the stones? Let's find out, shall we? Ducks. Well, they maybe be that kind of duck that was talked about in the nature poster we saw and read it when we stopped by the Nith in part 1. Maybe. Just gorgeous. Such a nice day. Such a good day for it. The reflection of the water off that bridge is pretty good. Oh, you don't catch it in the video you get. How we see if we can see fishes. The ground's pretty pale. I'm not seeing any. We've got that other suspension bridge over there, the Shugley Bridge, wasn't it? The one that kind of bounced as you walked over it. Like, can't miss my stairs back up. I kept walking along that. It looks like a really nice wee walk to have. Right, I think we'll head up to the Dumfries Museum maybe now. See if they've got the camera Obscura on the go, which we missed out on because of the weather last time we were here. So I'll see you in a bit. And we're back at the Dumfries Museum in camera Obscura, up round here.
Up there?
Yes, you could. Now that you see it. It's a different angle to come in from. We came up through the other side, we walked all the way up the hill and up all the stairs to get into the place.
Is that an old lighthouse or something?
It's an old windmill.
Alright.
Do you want to come round and see the garden and that? See if they've still got my spider brooch. Oh, bird with a stick for its nest. Pretty good building. This isn't going to work happening against this. So that cannon is a Russian cannon captured in the Crimean War.
Right.
Just for your information.
I was there.
Aye, I believe that. Being so old and frail, Accies.
That's a horse that followed you.
That's old mortality. The statue of old mortality. Dedicated to a young doctor that died. We're back seeing our man again. Old mortality and his pony. Another one of this machine that we couldn't quite fathom. I'm intrigued now actually because I'm wondering about this. Yeah, it's definitely heavy welded, so there's no way. I've no idea. I don't know. This is really good. See all the stonework in that? It's got like all bits of like previous buildings and that in it, and there's gravestones in that taken for the old graveyard. It's St Michael's graveyard. I don't know how they ended up here. I don't know what happened to St Michael's churchyard for the graves to have been brought here, because some of them are Covenanters' gravestones, you know. I don't know what that says. I want to come up. I feel kind of a bit weird standing on these things since I know that they're old graves now. Yes, William I. Pentland here for his hearing. I don't know. To the word of God, or adhering maybe, for is adhering to the word of God. I think this is going to be another Covenanter's grave. For the executed. This one that I read the last time, I gave the full transcription of this, found from the St Michael's Churchyard records, and then second was the second bit. What have we got? What is this? Do I even know which way up that would go? I don't know if it's a face or a decoration, or. But I feel like most of this stuff seems to have been taken from St Michael's Churchyard, and I'm not sure why. Let's have a wee look up here. Glencairn written on a stone. They've not restored the bust for this wee man, eh? Richard Alexander Oswald Esquire of Auchengrove. We don't know where his head is. Nice poppies, but look at this really good, beautiful purple one.
Poppy?
Yeah. Well, because it is not red like the others. It is very purple, you see. And you know how drawn I am to all things purple, Accies. Like, it's how it goes. Oh.
Hi there, welcome
Hello.
to Dumfries Museum, how are you?
Good. I have been before.
Really?
I'm here to get my passport stamped.
Right, okay,
Because I'm
brilliant.
sure you're going to have your stamps by now.
So, are you interested in doing the camera Obscura?
We didn't get to do it last time because
Right,
it was raining.
so there's, Maria's just up there at the moment. Do you want
Okay.
to go up with them
Yeah.
now? So, just go up now.
Okay.
Do you know where it is?
Oh, I'll
Yeah,
show
yeah.
the Mills Tower.
Brilliant.
And then take it again.
Thank you so much, love.
We have the staircase up to the top. And my phone, you'll get the top.
Thank you so much. Are we going continuing straight up?
We are just having
Staying here.
here.
Okay. Accies will be a wee minute.
Okay.
It's fair enough.
Perfect.
There's a wee chair for you, Accies.
So, a chair and
Don't no more people because it's really hot up here. Hi, hello. Well, I'm just gonna start. Welcome to the Windmill Tower. This is the third floor. This is the observatory. Now, as you can see, why is the observatory? We have a telescope here, but to introduce you a bit more in the history of the building itself, we are coming back to the early 18th century. We are not sure when the building was really built, but we know that in the 18th century it was used as a windmill, especially for spells. And we also know about its functions thanks to Double Ring, the poet of the town, Robert Barnes. Why? In one of his letters, he wrote that he loved it when the windmill tower was working because he can have a really rich smell of spells that helps his inspiration to create poems. There is poems like Little Mouse and Haggis that were inspired here within the town. Although people believe that Haggis it was created in Edinburgh, but well, let's see. We really don't know. We only know that All and Shine was wrote in Ellisland Farm, which I'm gonna mention later on. But well, and how is that windmill tower that is in fully function in the 18th century becomes a camera obscura and a observatory in the 19th century? Well, simply to say, Industrial Revolution and the Enlightenment changed the view all over the UK of how a town or a city should be. Dumfries doesn't want to be left behind. It wants to be as enlightened and as industrialized as big cities as Edinburgh and Glasgow. For that reason, one of the first things the town thinks that it's better to get rid of so they can take off the label of a countryside town is the Windmill Tower. Why? Now I'm gonna want you to imagine these. You see all the houses around through the windows? Well, neither of those houses existed at the time. This was mostly fields. There was what is nowadays the Rock Barn Centre, which is a water mill, a few houses down into Glasgow Road that we will see later on, and that's it. There was neither the park over here. We didn't have those trees covering the view. In that case, you can see the Windmill Tower from any part of the town. And that bothers the government of the town, the council, because if you can see it, what is the first thing you're gonna say about the town if you see a windmill tower? It's a countryside town. For that reason, they started to prepare to demolish the building. However, and since God this happened, a group formed in 1835, led by this gentleman here, which creates a group of scientists called the Astrological Club of Dumfries, decided that the Windmill Tower will be the perfect location for a camera obscura and also the observatory. They bought the building for £350. I'm not exactly sure how much will be that in nowadays money, but I always use the reference taken from Pride and Prejudice. How much is Mr. Darcy's income in a year compared to nowadays? Mr. Darcy gains like £10,000 a year. That equals to nowadays to 900,000, almost £1 million. Imagine in that case how much will be this building. It will be around 100 or 90,000 pounds. It's not really expensive compared to houses nowadays, but still, that is how much expensive it was at the time. Probably nowadays it will be £500,000 or more, especially with all the land that have. Well, coming back to the construction of the observatory, they plan to finish the constructions by July because they wanted to see the comet Halley, that famous comet that comes every 70 years. Anyone remember 2008? Well, unfortunately, they didn't finish on time. They opened its doors for the public and finished the construction on the 1st of August. That's sad, right? But we don't need to be very sad because 4 generations have seen the comet Halley from this building, or if it's not from the garden, these buildings in the last 200 years. Now we're just gonna go to the main attraction, that is the camera obscura. If you follow me, please.
Look up there. No problem.
Is everybody here? Perfect. Now you are lucky because we are just gonna wake up the camera. We just call it waking up because at the end it's like taking the blanket out of the child's bed. Have you ever been into a camera obscura? I know you do, but the rest of you?
No.
No, well, I just gonna explain you a bit what is a camera oscura and the history behind it. As the name say, a camera oscura comes from Latin and it literally means dark room. Really, dark bedroom, but we don't go to that. But literally, a camera oscura is being in a completely dark room. The first camera oscura, or the first time we can hear something similar to a camera oscura, is from the allegory of the man in the cave of Plato. And well, just to tell you, Plato described that every single man and woman, although he only described men, live inside of a cave. And it's the cave, the men's looking at the wall of the cave, someone a clip behind them with someone doing figures with the fire that show in the wall of the cave. That showing to the wall of the cave is what the camera does. It's like an illusion, but it's not 100% an illusion because literally showing you the reality. But it's like if you live here, you're just know what the camera allows you to see. Well, if you clean that cliff and you go past the man that is making the figures, you will go to a more broader reality. That means that you can get a car and go to Castle Douglas, you can go to Carlisle and see all those scenes because the camera just go around Dumfries. That is the allegory and that is how a camera is visualized in ancient Greece. The first camera ever built was in the 16th century by a man called Giovanni Jacobetti. It's a painter, and you probably will not know much about him because he wasn't very famous as a painter. He was more famous because of all the machinery he created. And one of those machineries was a camera oscura at the early of his life, that he put half of the camera was out cleaning into a building, out of a building, and the other inside of a room, and show you a static imaging of Florence upside down. That is the elder camera oscura. Unfortunately, that camera doesn't exist anymore. But it's good to see that how have progressed to come to this one over here. This is considered the oldest working camera oscura of the world. And if you don't believe me, you can Google it. But just to coming back of how works the camera, we are right now in a dark room. And up there is a little box that have three entries. The first ones is the ones that light the sunlight enter, collide with the mirrors. The second one is the mirror that we move to show you a very big perspective of the town. And the third one is the box itself going around in a 360 movement. Now, let's stop talking about theory and let's go to the action. I'm gonna open the camera for you. And if you could go around the rails, it's the and the light's gonna go off for a few seconds. Everybody is okay with that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. The imaging is not perfect because we don't have much sounds today, but still, look, you can read the plate of the car. But let's go up. As you can see, the tree is very focused and the town is not really focused. How we change that? Bringing up the table. Wow, what a change. You can see the cars moving. Look at that golden car going to the... But we just gonna go a bit further.
The people who are seeing this had never even seen a black and white film. This was before any moving images. So this was the first time people were seeing moving images.
That's true. But unfortunately for us, the only people that have ever seen this was people with money.
Very well, of course.
Yeah.
Well, the first ever film that was shown in 1897, the train that is coming toward us, was just a challenge to see. In that case, not only high class, but middle class could afford it. And the first movie with color, although people believe it's in after 30s, the first movie with color is in 1912, and it's The Men Over the Moon. It was colored with hand.
Hand.
Yes, but it's amazing. Well, coming back to the camera, can you see over here?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That is our landmark for the Crichton. It's Crichton Church. But why is it? Why we landmark in the church and not the Crichton? Well, it's a campus. The highest building it has is the church. But the most interesting thing of this campus is was built before the camera Obscura. It's from 1827, and it was built by a woman. She was a widow that inherited all the money from her husband and wants to create something for the community. And what is the best thing she could think of? A university campus. Unfortunately for her and for Dumfries at the time, a campus will not be very good idea for the town. It's a countryside town. Not many people will leave Edinburgh and Glasgow to come here for university. In that case, what happens? It's become an asylum until the year 2000, 180 years almost. That's quite amazing and a long history for an asylum, especially with all the atrocities that were made in the asylums in the 19th century.
Yeah.
But well, in 2002, the University of Glasgow bought some of the building, followed by the University of West Scotland, and around that decade, it was built also Dumfries and Galloway College, which made the town a university town. We get what we wanted 200 years later. Now, if we go further, we will able to see, I don't know if you can see it very, very faintly, this mountain over here. That is the Lady Street. It's 40 miles in a straight line from us. I will not recommend you try to do it yourself because you will need to cross the first, the Solway first. But here you can see a bit of the Solway first. That is the end of the River Nith and the beginning of the Solway. And with this, because there is nothing more to see, let's go to Freefall. Here is Freefall. It's over 600 foot, quite high for Dumfries and Galloway, although there is higher mountains. But it's the highest point we have in Dumfries, and it's a lovely walk on a sunny day. Because when you reach the top, you will see the whole town of Dumfries, and on the other side, part of the Solway. You can see the
Like you see the birds flying about you.
Yeah. Let's see if we are lucky and there is some birds in our next stop. Let's see. No, we are not lucky. There is sometimes birds over there. But well, coming back to the camera, I'm going to explain in this road a bit of the social history of the camera. As I already mentioned, the camera was opened to the public on the 1st of August of 1836. Another time you think the term privacy existed? Do you think that privacy existed at that time?
No.
People were more worried about what to bring to the table and how to pay rent. But don't worry, we are gonna have a lot of things. But well, at that time, the camera also was, they're not gonna be aware of the camera for that reason. The only people that gonna come to the camera is the high society of Dumfries. They need to pay 6 shillings per week to get a membership that allows them to go to the camera once a week for a full day. And what they do here, well, probably just sit down and observing other people's life. This could be called the first reality show of the history.
Yeah. People watching.
Yeah, things changed in the 20th century, especially after the Second World War, where we are more aware of our human rights and also more aware of our privacy. For that reason, people weren't very happy with the camera, but they couldn't do anything. And something happened that made people more furious. In 1952, a photographer comes to the camera, take a few photos, and one of those photos end up in the front page of the newspaper. And the photo was a house, a window, and through the window, a lady reading her coach. Oh my God! I don't know who we need to blame for that. If the cameraman to sell that picture to the newspaper, the person that was doing the camera, or the lady for leaving the lights on in the middle of the day. Oh well, that is the thing. People weren't happy, and for that reason, we have some restrictions after that to film some places. Nowadays, those restrictions long time ago disappeared. People are more accustomed to being observed by the camera, and also no windows goes straight to the camera. The only window you can see is something like this, but you can see the interior. Now, if we go further. There we go. We have that beautiful building over there. That is the old convent. Well, earlier on I mentioned Glasgow Road, that the only houses that we have over this side was in Glasgow Road. That's true. Most of the street you see nowadays, it was narrow, and the streets were more where the cars are coming from now. In the case, with the time and the necessity of more cars, that house were removed and put it more besides to the river. Also, so many houses have disappeared over the time because many houses will last for centuries. If it's not, tell the cottage we have down in almost in Loch Maven, that is from 700 years ago. But these houses, some of them were destroyed, others were ruined. In that case, the street grew. But this is also the street where Robert Barnes used to go to the town. Why? Because going through this road, 7 miles from here is Ellisland Farm. I mentioned earlier saying that All and Shine, the famous song it's brought there. Well, that is the first house he ever had in Dumfries, because although it's 7 miles from here, still it was considered Dumfries. Yeah. Now we are just gonna go and cross to the town center, but before going to the town center, I'm gonna show you two of the oldest bridges in Dumfries. Dumfries have a total of 6 bridges, kind of amazing, but these two are the oldest ones. The first one is the Borgilla, the one that people are crossing right now. It's originally for the 12th centuries, built by Lady de Borgilla. She is the mother of one of the Scottish kings. Then that king didn't last longer in the throne, but still, she's the promoter of creating the town of Dumfries. Unfortunately for us, and unfortunately also for the people of that time, the bridge was made of wood. In the case, didn't last long, and when the bridge faded away, this bridge was built in the 14th century. The 14th century bridge was again modified in the late 18th century. Why? Well, you can say that the falls comes to Buccleuch Bridge over that side. Buccleuch Bridge was built in 1792. Robert Barnes see the construction and the finalization of that bridge. And it was a toll bridge. That means you need to pay if you want to cross it. People wanted to be sneaky. In that case, they say, oh, having to cross that toll bridge, I can cross the Borgilla for free. And they start to cross the Borgilla. The council didn't like that much. And what happened? Well, they decided to chop off 3 of the arches and create the stairs that we have nowadays. In the case, if you have crossed those stairs, you will know how much we need to suffer.
Yep.
But that is the story of 2 of our bridges. We have another bridge that is going more on this side. Unfortunately, we cannot see it. That is the suspension bridge, the metallic bridge. It's from 1874, if I'm not wrong. And the next one is the will be the oldest also. The other two will be the newest ones. That is St. Michael's Bridge. It was built in the decade of the 20s and is the unification between Maxwell Town, where we are right now, and Dumfries. They didn't have a very good relation at that time. Now, if we go more to the town, we have over here the Kerr House. That house that looks like a palace. Is the Kerr House.
All the turrets.
Right.
Yeah, and if we go further, we have Greyfriars. Greyfriars is beautiful, but it's not an old church. It's from 1805.
Is it not built in the grounds of the old Dumfries Castle?
No, Dumfries Castle is over the other side.
But there was a castle, Dumfries Castle there. And
there was an abbey.
Yeah,
here.
right, aye. I'm sure it was built over the grounds of an old Dumfries Castle before the other was built.
As far as I'm aware, before this one there was a small church here, and then the abbey. Okay. The Greyfriars Abbey, that is where happens the things with Robert Bruce. But well, you get me something to study a bit more.
I have an ordnance survey map that states that it's on the grounds of an old Dumfries Castle.
Well, you give me something to study now. Thank you.
No worries.
Well, if we go a bit further, there we go. This house over here, the white house with black windows, this is the second house where Robert Barnes is going to live in. He only remains there for 11 months. Why? Well, it was a pretty small apartment for as many family as he had, because he had a total of 9 children with his wife, and then he took one of his illegitimate children to live with him, and in that case it's going to be a lot for her to have a small apartment. And also Bank Street used to be known as a stinking venom, not really nice smells to live. But over here, that is Mid-Steeple. Can everybody see Mid-Steeple, the long tower? Perfect. Mid-Steeple was built in 1707, and it was, well, at least the first stone was put at that time, and it had been the council, the archives, the merchant chamber, the council chambers, among other things. It's also been the oldest prison in the town that still exists. Well, it doesn't really exist. It's the basement of a fish and chip shop. But it's really interesting to say that. Other interesting thing that happened in the building is that when Robert Barnes died on the 22nd of 1796 of this month, that means that Tuesday gonna be his anniversary, he was placed here, and so everybody can wish him farewell. And on the 25th, a massive funerary parade, don't forget the military thing, was held on his honors and moved him from there to St. Michael's. That will be our last stop. If you want a comparison to a figure of nowadays that have something similar, just think in Winston Churchill.
Okay.
Unfortunately, the last house of Robert Barnes, that is Barnes House and the museum, will not be able to be seen because the trees doesn't allow us. But over here we have St. Michael's, as I promised. This is our last stop, and it's very, very interesting. Not only because Robert Barnes was buried twice there, but also because it's considered the oldest church of Dumfries. Well, it's not really the oldest. St. Andrews will be the oldest, but the only thing that remains of St. Andrews is the tower and a few arches. In that case, this is the oldest and intact church we have in the town. As I already mentioned, Robert Barnes is buried twice. The first one on the northest, and the second time on the saddest part of the graveyard. The saddest part is where is nowadays the mausoleum. In that case, he had been there from 1816 to nowadays. And with this, we're just going back to the gates. And with this, we just finished the presentation. Any questions?
No, it's cracking.
Great.